Imagine this. Brother, most men today live in quiet defeat, not because they lack ability, but because they lack inner strength. We scroll, compare, envy, and then wonder why we feel trapped, weak, or lost. We chase comfort, yet feel exhausted. We avoid hardship, yet suffer every single day. Here's the harsh truth. Comfort is destroying us. Struggle, as brutal as it feels, carries the seed of real power. The ancient Stoics understood this long before smartphones or social media existed. Marcus Aurelius, warrior and emperor, once declared, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Understand this deeply, and you'll uncover strength. These are not just words. They're a weapon, a discipline, a way of standing tall in chaos. Stoicism won't make life easy. It makes you unbreakable. In this lesson, we'll explore 8 Stoic principles that demand you sharpen your mind, steady your emotions, and harden your spirit. This is not empty talk. This is real transformation. Each principle is forged from hard truths tested in Roman wars and still unshaken today. Before we begin, I ask you one thing. If you're serious about growth, don't treat this like just another motivational clip. This isn't background noise. It's a wake-up call. Pause here. Like this message. If it stirs something in you, share it with another man who needs strength. And above all, don't skip a single part. One missing principle may cost you the clarity and courage you'll need when life presses hardest. Principle number 1. Accept hardship. Comfort softens men, but trials sharpen them. When you stop wishing for an easier path and start carrying the weight of your own struggle, you'll see the man you're meant to become. Most men try to escape discomfort through distractions, addictions, or denial. But every escape makes them weaker. The Stoic path demands the opposite step directly into the storm. Face it, own it, walk through it with dignity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The obstacle is the way." He didn't mean this as poetry. He meant it as a battle plan. Every obstacle is an invitation to rise, to sharpen, to strengthen. When you resist, you rot. When you embrace, you grow. So the next time life tests you, don't curse the weight. Carry it. Don't look for escape. Look for the lesson. For the Stoic, pain is not punishment, it's training. Training for the man you must become. Remember this, the easy road weakens you. The hard road builds you. The Stoic chooses the harder road, not because he loves suffering, but because he loves strength more than comfort. Remind yourself, this is where warriors are forged. The only way to become unshakable is to stop running. Write this truth in the comments. Discomfort is my training ground. Principle number 2. Never let emotions govern you. How many times have emotions dictated your entire day? Someone insults you, and you explode. Plan shift. And so does your mood. You feel lazy. Skip the gym. Avoid your work. Abandon discipline. Every man struggles with this. But here is the raw truth if you let emotions rule. You are their slave. The Stoics believed that being chained to feelings was worse than iron shackles. Epictetus, once a slave, and later a Stoic master, said, "Any man who can anger you becomes your master. He can only do so if you allow it." Think on this. The driver who cuts you off, you gave him your peace. The breakup, you gave it your identity. the insult online, you gave it your joy. Stoicism does not teach you to ignore feelings. It teaches you to observe, to understand, and then to act with reason instead of reaction. That is the difference between a child and a Stoic. A child lashes out. The Stoic sits in the storm and thinks. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, recorded this discipline in his private notes, later known as Meditations. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your judgment of it, and you can revoke that judgment at any moment. That, my friend, is a power few men use. The power to refuse being shaken by what is not worthy of your energy. It's harsh, because it leaves no one else to blame. You can no longer say, "He made me angry," or "She ruined my day." You must admit, "I chose to hand over my peace." That is the kind of ownership the Stoics demanded of men. So the next time fury rises, pause. Do not act like a boy who reacts, but like a man who rules himself. Ask, does this deserve my energy? Does this shape the man I aim to be? Remember, the strong man does not conquer others first. He conquers himself. A man who controls his emotions is free. A man who doesn't is shackled. No matter how high his position, this mastery doesn't come overnight. It comes through daily practice, reflection, and discipline. That's why Stoicism calls it training. You train the mind as you would the body, slowly, repeatedly, until it obeys. Principle 2 is this: emotions are signals, not chains. Hear them, learn from them, but never let them steer your life. That is how the Stoic remains steady in storms that destroy weaker men. The Stoics never expected life to treat them kindly. They prepared for pain, loss, betrayal, and constant change. Let's be honest, fairness is a pleasant idea, but cling to it too tightly and it will weaken you. When we say, "This isn't fair," what we really mean is, "I don't like this feeling, and I don't want to face it." But here is the law of life: you do not grow by demanding fairness. You grow by meeting reality head-on and walking forward anyway. Look around. Good men still suffer. The wicked sometimes win. Effort is not always rewarded. That is not negativity, it is reality. And this is what separates the ordinary from the unstoppable. The ordinary man waits for fairness. The Stoic builds such inner strength that nothing outside can break him. This does not mean you grow cold or heartless. It means you stop expecting the world to treat you well, and you begin treating yourself with honor, no matter what the world does. Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage, especially when life seems unfair." This is the way. Instead of complaining, you forge pain into fuel. You master your craft until no one can deny you. You love deeply without expecting return. You face betrayal and keep walking with dignity. The Stoic approach is absolute responsibility, not because all is your fault, but because action is always yours. You cannot control life's strikes, but you can control how you answer them. And that answer, that steady calm of a warrior, is what makes you undefeatable. Fairness is never promised. Freedom is sized. One disciplined choice at a time. Principle number 3. Let go of entitlement. Life owes you nothing. The Stoic does not ask, "Why me?" he asks, "How do I rise from this?" This mindset transforms burdens into training. Many men waste years waiting for life to be easier. But the Stoic man uses every setback as a sharpening stone. He does not wait for the world to soften. He hardens himself for the world. When you accept that no one owes you fairness, you discover true freedom. You stop waiting. You stop begging. You start building. And what you build cannot be taken from you. The modern man who clings to fairness grows bitter. The Stoic man who accepts reality grows powerful. That is the choice set before you every day. Remember, life is not fair, but you can always be firm, steady, and strong. The Stoic warrior is not destroyed by injustice, he is defined by his response to it. In a world addicted to comfort, discipline becomes a superpower. The Stoic does not wait for life to test him. He tests himself first. Not to suffer, but to strengthen. Not to punish, but to prepare. Seneca once wrote, "Set aside certain days when you are content with the simplest, cheapest food, with coarse clothing, asking yourself, is this what I feared?" This is voluntary hardship, a choice to make the mind unbreakable. Think about this. Most men today avoid discomfort at all costs. They never skip a meal. They never sit in silence. They never go without convenience. And when life strikes hard, they collapse. They panic. They blame. The Stoic, by contrast, has already trained for hard days. They've endured hunger, exhaustion, rejection, frustration, struggle. This doesn't make them invincible, it makes them adaptable. You don't build willpower by watching inspirational clips. You build it by deliberately doing what you don't want to do. Voluntary hardship might look like this: fasting for 24 hours, to remind yourself you are not ruled by appetite. Taking a cold shower when your mind screams, no. Saying no to a luxury you could afford just to sharpen restraint. Rising early to train when your body begs for bed. These small choices accumulate over time. They turn you into a dangerous man, not because you abuse yourself, but because you embrace truth. Comfort never makes you stronger. Only challenge does. And when hardship comes, as it always does, you don't flee. You smile, because you've already walked through fire by your own choice. Marcus Aurelius ruled in one of history's darkest times. He faced wars, plagues, betrayals, and yet he trained his mind daily through chosen discomfort. That discipline was his armor, stronger than any legion. So ask yourself, what comforts are softening me? What small hardships can I embrace to harden my spirit? Begin there, and you'll start building steel within. This is principle 4. Practice voluntary hardship, not because life isn't already hard, but because hardship is the forge where true strength is born. The man who avoids all pain is fragile. The man who trains with pain becomes durable. One cracks in the storm, the other stands tall through it. And when men see you calm in chaos, steady under pressure, unshaken by discomfort, they will know you are a Stoic, not by your words, but by your discipline. If you write, do it not for fame, but to sharpen your mind. If you train as an athlete, do it not merely to win, but to master your body. If you build something, do it not for applause, but for pride in your effort. When you tie your worth to results, you become fragile. But when you anchor your worth in discipline, willpower, and focus, you become unstoppable. Shift your Stoic mindset, show up as if the result is already complete, and simply enjoy the process. Whether failure or success, in that alone, you have already won, because you did the work. Principle 7. Embrace death. Live with urgency and purpose. Most men live as if they'll live forever. They waste time, delay dreams, stay trapped in bad habits and toxic bonds. But the Stoic reflects on death not to be gloomy, but to awaken. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. That is not fear, it is freedom." This is the awareness that life is short and the end is not ours to choose. Every wasted moment is a moment gone forever. Let this sink in. You cannot keep waiting for someday. You cannot keep saying later. You cannot assume tomorrow will come. The Stoics practiced memento mori. Remember that you must die. They did not repeat it to be dark, but to remain awake, present, and intentional. For when you truly accept that time is limited, you stop wasting it. No more scrolling for hours. No more petty arguments. No more tolerating mediocrity. You begin creating, loving, and acting. The time is now, not later. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." He warned us not to treat life as something endless, but as a treasure that slips away daily. So wake up to your mortality. Let death be a compass, not a curse. Live as if your time is counted, because it is. That urgency sharpens every choice. Principle 7 is not about fearing death. It is about honoring life. When you live with death at your shoulder, every act becomes intentional. Every day becomes weighty. Remember this. The man who thinks he has endless time squanders it. The man who knows his days are numbered uses each one with care. That is the Stoic path. Live today with discipline, with clarity, with love, for tomorrow is not promised. But this moment, this choice is entirely yours. Each time you choose what is right over what is easy, you sharpen your character. You become the man your future self will admire. You build an identity no one can take away. Seneca reminded us live, and think as if the whole world could see part of your life and read the rest. That is strength. That is a life that does not collapse under pressure, because it is built on integrity. In a world of performance, the Stoic is genuine. In a world of noise, the Stoic is calm. In a world of pretense, the Stoic is real. If you want to be unbreakable, do not live for praise. Live for principle. Live so that if you lose position, wealth, followers, you still walk tall. The moment you no longer need the crowd, you become the man they willingly follow. Be a warrior for what is right, not what is popular, even if you walk alone. Walk as if that path is the only one worth taking. If you've come this far, something deep within you is ready to grow. Leave behind distraction, weakness, and emotional chaos. Step into something greater, not perfection, but strength, not domination of others, but mastery of self. That is the Stoic way. This path does not promise comfort. It promises clarity. It gives direction. It offers a meaningful life, even if the world around you falls apart. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they did not write for an easy world. They wrote to survive storms, wars, betrayal, and death with dignity intact. They taught that true strength is not in muscle or money. It lies in the man who keeps his word, in the one who faces fear without retreat, in the soul that does the right thing, especially when it is the hardest thing. You do not need motivation. You do not need a perfect moment. You only need to Begin now. Take one step, however small. The Stoics remind us the journey of mastery is built in actions, not intentions. Each disciplined choice is a brick laid in the fortress of your soul. And when storms come, and they always will, you will not crumble. You will stand. You will endure. Because you are no longer chasing comfort, but embodying strength. This is the essence of Stoicism, not lofty words, but lived resilience, not empty talk, but daily practice. A creed that turns ordinary men into steady warriors. So take these principles, live them, and when others see you calm under pressure, disciplined in action, firm in purpose, they will know. This is not theory. This is Stoicism. This is strength. This is you.